We all desire power in one form or another. To lead, to be respected, to have authority in our homes, our workplaces, or our lives. But when power is finally placed in our hands, something often goes wrong. We stop listening. We become proud. And we forget that leadership was never meant to silence others. This is the story of a king who abused the power entrusted to him, looked down on his people, and believed he was above everyone else. And at the end of the story, you will understand why true leadership is not about control, but about humility, responsibility, and remembering that every person matters. Once upon a time, in a prosperous kingdom, there lived a king named Sirius. He was wealthy, powerful, and feared by many. But more than anything, King Sirius was proud. He believed the crown on his head made him better than everyone else. He treated his servants harshly. He spoke to people rudely. He used his power to take what did not belong to him and oppressed the weak. And whenever the council gathered to advise him, he would shout in anger, "I am the king. I have authority over everything. I need advice from no one." The elders would leave in silence, disappointed and helpless. As time passed, the king's arrogance only grew worse. One evening, after another day of pride and cruelty, King Sirius retired to his chamber. The windows were open, and the night air was calm and warm. Suddenly, a small mosquito entered the room and landed gently on his arm. The king swatted it away without thinking much of it. Minutes later, the tiny creature returned. And this time, it fed on the king's blood. At first, it seemed like nothing. But by morning, the king woke up in shock. His body was weak, his arm was swollen, and his whole body burned with fever. The royal physicians were called. They brought herbs and medicines, but nothing worked. The king grew weaker with each passing hour. He lay helpless on the royal bed. For the first time in his life, he could not command anything, not even a fly. The mighty king, who once ruled with force, now humbled by a tiny creature. The servants he once mistreated took care of him. The guards he scolded stood by his door. And the elders he refused to listen to now prayed and guided the doctors. After some days, the fever broke, the swelling reduced, and King Sirius slowly recovered. When he returned to the throne hall, everyone expected the same proud king. But instead, he stood before the people and spoke with a softer voice. "I thought my crown made me greater than all of you. But I have learned the hard way. I was drunk with power and blind with pride. Now I understand that I am only human." From that day onward, King Sirius became a changed man. He ruled with humility. He listened to advice from his council. He honored people regardless of their position. He finally learned the true meaning of leadership not power over people, but responsibility toward them. Moral of the story: true leadership is not about control or authority. It is about responsibility. It is about listening, serving, and protecting the people placed under your care. A real leader does not rise by pushing others down. They rise by lifting others up. King Sirius believed power made him greater than everyone else. But it took weakness to teach him that the crown did not make him human. His humility did. When he was strong, he ignored people. When he was helpless, people saved him. And that moment changed the way he ruled forever. So before you use your position, your voice, or your influence to dominate others, remember this: leadership is not proven by how many people fear you, but by how many people trust you. If this story spoke to you, carry this lesson with you today. No matter how high you rise, never forget to stay human. Until next time, lead with humility